Talk, joining Rob and
we're back
I.
again.
For
Okay,
this,
welcome.
For
Back.
this segment. We should just do it like this from now on. We have Wayne
I
Garcia.
just bust it out.
And throw the microphone
Wayne
hand to hand.
Garcia.
Hey, welcome to Vegas.
Wayne, thank you for coming to the show. You haven't been here in a little while.
I know it has
We
been a
had
little
Alex
while. I don't know why. You've had Alex and Dave, and you've
Alex
had
is
the
always a
A-team,
nice
and
thing
now,
every now and then.
I'll come in and.
I will tell you, I like Alex.
Alex is
He's
great.
an interesting character. We're
Yeah.
supposed to tonight. We're supposed to go down to that little go down and listen to the musicians.
Oh, the
over
hostel.
at the hostel down here down the street.
Oh, great.
Are
you heard
going?
about that?
Are you
No, I
going?
have not.
No, I'm not going there. I didn't email him like I was supposed to. I'm irresponsible.
But talk about sugar. It's all about the sugar.
Sugar,
right?
baby.
What
Sugar.
a sweet
Paying
subject
off
it
big
is.
sugar.
The puns. Last week I've been writing about a lot of stuff that's like total puns, so I love it. Writing about sugar was great. Yeah, here's the deal. A couple like 3 weeks ago, out of the blue, like a bolt of lightning in the savannas of the Everglades, comes this deal that had been worked on in secret, and that the state it's really the water management district
gazillions of dollars of property.
Not just buying some property from Sugar to get them out of the Everglades and stop polluting the Everglades. Not just sort of agreeing to they'll go do a little something here and a little something. No, we're going to buy the entire company and just put it out of business and get it completely gone from the Everglades, which is either an amazingly bold stroke and solution to that pollution problem, because this is the biggest sugar grower down there, or it's $1.75 billion payoff to the main polluter of the Everglades, and who now not only really doesn't get held responsible for it, but gets a premium on
for
its,
all
on
of their
its
crap
for all the shareholders and the people who own it. It's a privately owned company. So, I thought I would take a look at it because, honestly, after talking to everybody, I mean, there's no doubt Big Sugar had the deck stacked in terms of political support, and it was going to be very, very tough in the long run to really hold their feet to the fire to clean up the amount of phosphorus and fertilizer that they were flowing into the Everglades.
Polluting and killing the Everglades.
Yeah, now we're to blame, too. And when I say we, I mean the people who live in South Florida, not me. I mean, okay.
Of course not.
I grew up there,
Because
so
I don't
blame
use
me.
sugar in my coffee.
Yes, exactly. I use Splenda.
Sweet and low.
They're not growing Splenda cane out there.
Tell me when Sweet and Low is killing the rivers and everything like that. Then I'll stop that, too.
Well,
Why do you blame them?
Why do I blame people? Well,
Because they're buying sugar?
No, because they live in South Florida, and when you understand the hydrology of the way that Florida was before we all came here 120 now plus years ago, the water flowed down actually all the way from like Orlando through all these lakes into Lake Okeechobee, and when the rains came, it would fly, all over South Florida in a sheet of water. It would flow out, and it would flow into the Atlantic Ocean, where I grew up in Fort Lauderdale, and I had friends in West Palm and Miami, and then but at the turn of the century, then we have this 1920s land boom, and everybody moves to South Florida, and they're down there and they're having a great time until the first hurricane comes along, and the Everglades floods them all, and they go, the heck with this, man. How about we do this? Let's dig channels, and all the water that would have gone out over the Everglades is now just going to go shooting straight out to the ocean, and it won't flood us. And then in the meantime, we're going to give away land to developers who are going to come in, and they're going to fill all this land in that's swampy Everglades now, and they're going to build houses and farms and stuff on it. And in 1920, that sounded like a brilliant idea, until the 1960s, when we realized that everything in the Everglades is dying because we disturb the natural flow of water, and all the farms that we built south of Lake Okeechobee for sugar farming and citrus are dumping phosphorus into the Everglades, and it's making all these non-native plants just go crazy down there. So, since the 1990s, there's been an effort to clean up the Everglades, to make, to change the way we channeled all that water out. Now, you're not going to make the, several millions of people who live in South Florida all the way from Martin County to the Keys.
Right. Send a bunch of U-Hauls down there and say, get the hell out of here.
Well, we're going to get on that project right after we get all the illegal immigrants out of the country in trucks the same way. But once we finish that.
How do you really feel, Wayne?
No, I mean, it's kind of crazy. So, but, the question with this is that I really wanted to ask with the story is, why is nobody, and there's very few people around here, and there's very, very few people in South Florida. There's been a lawsuit that's been filed since this all came up. But nobody's sort of saying, gee, $1.75 billion from South Florida taxpayers, and we're laying off cops and we're laying off teachers and we got budget cuts, and we know this saves the Everglades, but isn't there another way? And, almost every environmentalist I talked to basically said, there really isn't any other way than to pay them off because they're just too powerful. And I just think that's a sad state. It may be the reality, and it may be what we have to do, but I thought it was worth writing about.
You know what we need to do, and what probably will happen now is I read another article saying that they're going to start putting in oil drilling in the Everglades. So it'll be,
there you
be
go.
great. Yeah,
we won't have to have it off the Gulf Coast. We can just pollute it right on the land. Why wait for it to drift in onto the beaches when we can just plug it right into the aquifer directly?
Why waste our time letting
Exactly.
it seep? Can't we just dump?
It was a
That's a good
fascinating
idea.
article, and everybody needs to pick up
Actually,
their
how it
creative.
been punctuated. Oh, and by the way, the new plans for the oil drilling, that would have been good.
Everybody needs to pick their creative loafing and read Wayne's full article. About 2 minutes left. Do you want to talk about Urbex, or you want to go right into C and Do's?
Well, let me just throw out some love to Alex Pickett, who wrote the Urbex this week. It's about trying to siphon
some
gas.
love
Now,
to
I have to say,
Alex.
we're throwing out love to Alex because he got in a car wreck this last weekend.
What?
And it was a serious wreck, but he was fine. The person driving are fine, but
He lost his 300,000 mile
No.
crapola?
His friend lost her 3,000 mile crapola. No, I think it was newer than that, actually, but. So he's doing fine, but he wrote a great story in which he went out and tried. There's all this hype about when gas was $4 a gallon. Now it's down to $3.75. We feel better, right? So when gas was $4 a gallon, but he found out basically that there's safeguards now in gas tanks, that basically make it almost impossible to siphon. And in fact, he tried to siphon my truck, which I thought had been siphoned. I came out one morning and somebody had taken the gas cap off. But you can't siphon from new cars anymore.
What's
That's
considered new?
Like, I guess anything after maybe 2000 or so. They now have these
Perfect. My cars knew
anti-rollover
that.
things, I think. There's no cutoff in the story, but basically he had to go to some old van beater to get any gas out of it.
And those
so
old
it's
van
really
beaters
tough.
probably don't have full tank of gas.
This
so.
one did not. So he's written a great story. And then C and Do's, look, two things. Go see Embedded. It's a great play by Tim Robbins, the actor. Embedded at Job Site Theater.
Is he in it?
Unfortunately, he's not in it.
Ooh,
But,
sorry, bad selling
but it's
point.
good. It's about embedded troops in the Iraq War, and it's very political. So if you're a political junkie like me, you've got to go see it. And then Nervous Turkey, which is a band that's playing at
And if you're a
Dave's.
Thanksgiving fan like me, go
Yes.
see Nervous Turkey.
Yes. And so the Nervous Turkey is
Come on
coming up, and they're playing down here in Ybor City. Where are they playing?
Crowbar?
1313 East 8th Avenue.
Perfect.
There you go. New World. No, it looks like New
Got
World.
the address.
Right.
New World, and Wade Tatangelo recommends them, so I know nothing about the band, but if Wade recommends it,
Bingo.
it's good.
Got to be in.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Garcia,
Wayne, very
always a
much.
pleasure.
We'll see you next week, maybe?
Maybe,
Media
yeah,
Mix.
that'd be fun.
Media
sure.
Mix is fun.
Oh,
You always
Media
like
Mix,
those.
yeah, party
Yeah,
time.
Big time,
It's
big time.
excellent.
150,000 plus people showing up here.
Easily.
We are
Easily.
going to take our next break. As soon as we return, Rob and I will be chatting with James Marvell and David Smith.
Oil rigs in the Everglades. I love it. Great idea.
I'll start the derrick construction immediately.
I got to
Media
rig my back
Talk.
truck.
Media Talk is presented by Tampa Digital Studios, sponsored by the Creative Loafing. We'll see you back here in 30 seconds, maybe a minute.